Hello everyone, and welcome to the comparison between the video games for PS2, DBZ Budokai 3 and DBZ Infinite World. I'm comparing them because they're very similar, and it's very hard to decide which game is better or which game to buy. But before we compare the games, let's hear some basic facts on both of them. We'll begin with the game Budokai 3. So the game Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 was released in 2004 for the PS2 console. He is the third member of the Budokai series. Now, he was released in 2004. That means he's very old in the gaming world. Now some basic facts on the game Infinite World. So the game DBZ Infinite World was released in 2008. 4 years after Budokai 3, but still the games are very similar. Now, Infinite World is the fourth member of the series that was released for the PS2 console, and the sixth member in the series at the total. Now that we know some basic facts on both of the games, we'll get to the actual comparison. And the first criterion will be the graphics. So basically the graphics are pretty much the same in both of the games, but there aren't any much difference except the life bars and the energy bars. You see the same character designs, the same cel shaded graphics. So this is exactly the same. Now we'll get to the next criterion, the characters. There are some major character differences in both of the games, and the main one is that Budokai 3 has the characters Kid Goku, Oob, Cell Jr., and Supreme Kai, which DBZ Infinite World does not include. On the other hand, in Infinite World, there are 8 characters that Budokai 3 does not include. There are Goku GD, Vegeta GD, Great Saiyaman 2, Pan, Super Baby, Super Android 17, Pikkon, and Janemba. So in Budokai 3, I think except of Kid Goku's character, all the others are disposable. I mean, Supreme Kai's attacks are just horrible. He throws objects in his opponents. Cell Jr. is just Cell in small. He has the same attacks, and Oob is just, he doesn't have an ultimate, and his attacks are lame. On the other hand, Kid Goku is a special character, and it's a shame that Infinite World didn't got him in the game. Now, in Infinite World, characters are some very interesting ones, starting from Goku GT that have a beastie ultimate, the Super Kamehameha. I really love it. And Vegeta GT is a nice character, and the last 4 I mentioned. Super Baby is a nice one, Super Android 17 is a nice one, and Pikkon and Janemba are just great addition to the game. They have just fantastic ultimates, and I think it's a great decision to make them in the game. So in the characters criterion, I think DBZ Infinite World is totally got the upper hand on Budokai 3. So the next thing I'm gonna compare in these games is the skill editing. You might think it's minor, but it's definitely not. So in the skill editing, in Budokai 3 have 7 slots for attacks, power-ups, items, or transformations. But there are some problems, and for example, if your character is Goku, you have only 2 slots for attacks, because his transformations already take 5. I mean, Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and Super Saiyan 4 already take 5. And the 2 other slots are for the remaining attacks. I mean, Kamehameha and the ultimate, he doesn't even have a place for his second super. So there's some problems with this skill editing system. On the other hand, there are characters like Kid Gohan that have only 1 super, and only the Masenko ways, and this is just lame, so you can do whatever you want, put a lot of power-ups and stuff. And of course there is the breakthrough capsule, which is containing all of the characters' attacks and transformations. Like, if your character is Goku, you should put the breakthrough capsule, because it is better than just putting all his transformations and items. But if your character is, as I said, Kid Gohan, you should not put the breakthrough capsule. You should just customize his character better. Now, in Infinite World, it is very different, because you have at the start 6 slots, at the end you can unlock 2 other slots. Unlike in Budokai, which you can put whatever attacks or stuff you want, in Infinite World, every slot is for something specific. Like, there's 1 special slot for an ultimate, 2 special slots for supers, and the character can have more than 2 supers, but of course you cannot put more than 2 supers in her customization slots. Now there is 1 item slot and 2 at the start, as I said, and 4 total, 2 that you can add slots for power-ups like health increase or power increase, defense increase, whatever. And there is no breakthrough capsule in Infinite World customization. Alright, so now we're gonna compare the story mode. So, in the story mode of Budokai 3, you're one of the 13, 14 characters, the main heroes in the game. I mean, the characters like Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, all the Gohans, Piccolo, stuff like that, and even Broly. So you're one of these characters, and you are just flying around the world most of the time, and part of the time at Namek. And flying around the world is pretty epic, with its fun music, and I personally love it. So, what you really do is flying around the world, searching for Dragon Balls and items and money. And there's the red dot, of course, which you're supposed to get to. And sometimes there are battles in there, and sometimes there are some small talks between the hero and someone else. And they could have improved the speak bubbles. I mean, couldn't you do cutscenes, something exciting? I mean, flying around the world is really fun, but those small talks are just not anything special. And except the flying around the world and fighting and discovering Dragon Balls and money, there isn't anything more in the story mode of Budokai 3. Now, in the story mode of Infinite World, again, it is different. You are Goku, and you are just walking on a map with a lot of battles and mini-games and cutscenes. Now, this is a story mode which I like more, because it has more depth, if you get what I'm saying. I mean, there aren't only just battles and things you have to unlock. There are battles, which are great, and there are the mini games. Now, there are a lot of kinds for these mini games, like flying through checkpoints, running through checkpoints, pressing buttons at the right order, and all of those are things like Goku running after rabbits that just kidnapped Gohan, running up through Snake Way, Frieza bombing Piccolo, or Tien against Cell, Goku versus can go on in the time chamber. I mean, it's really fun stuff. And the cutscenes are just gorgeous. I mean, the graphics are just really good. And the graphics are really good. And sometimes the English dub is not very good, but I don't really care. The cutscenes at the total are great. So that's it with the story mode. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna compare is the other modes, all of the other modes except the story mode. So, except for the story modes, there are only a few modes in the game Budokai 3. There is the dueling mode, of course, a necessary mode in every DBZ game, which you play against a com or against a friend, or com versus com. Practice mode, which you can go to Kami and practice basic stuff, or practice just regular stuff against a character that just doesn't do anything. And there is the tournament mode, which is very fun. You can play as 2 or 1 characters in the tournament mode. And there is the Dragon Arena mode. The Dragon Arena mode is like the story mode. You can level up characters, but unlike the story mode, which you can level up only the 13 characters that I talked about, the main heroes, in the Dragon Arena mode you can level up every character in the game. In this mode you can unlock special abilities, you can unlock rare items, and the 2 characters, Cyberman and Cell Jr. And in this mode you have an endless list of fights. You can level up your character to very high levels, and this is very fun to play. Okay, so in Infinite World, like in Budokai 3, there is the story mode, there is the dueling mode, there is the second version of the Dragon Arena mode. He's called Fighter's Road. Now, he is very similar to the story mode in Infinite World. You are, again, Goku, you're walking on a map, and you are walking from battle to battle, and there are not a lot of battles, I think. I don't remember how many exactly, but something like 150, and this mode is ending really much quicker than it should be. It's a very easy mode to pass. And the thing that might just make Budokai 3 a better game is that in Infinite World there is no tournament mode. And I ask, how could it be? How could it be that there is a DBZ game without a tournament mode? Okay, so now after we compared all the other modes in these games, we're gonna compare the gameplay of the battles itself. Alright, so first let's compare some button changes in these games. The main one is that in Budokai 3, to charge up the energy, you have to press X, and after that twice on the arrow that is not to the direction of your opponent. Now, this is a very clumsy button pressing system, and in Infinite World you just have to press the L1 button, so it is much more simple. Now, other difference is to transform yourself. In Budokai 3 you press the R1 button, but in Infinite World you press circle and the down button together, more like the supers in that case. For an ultimate you need to press up in circle in Infinite World, and in Budokai 3 you need to press the L2 button after being in hyper mode. Now, these are the most major button differences in the game. Most of the basics are the same. I mean, kick triangle, punch is square, supers is circle and the button to the side of your opponent. So that's it with the buttons. In general, I think the Infinite World system is easier. Now, for the major differences in the gameplay itself. So, in Infinite World, they cancelled the Dragon Rush mode. I think it's a very smart decision. The Dragon Rush mode is basically, in Budokai 3, after you go in Hyper mode, you can go in Dragon Rush mode, which is just your character beating up the other character in the cutscenes. At the start, it's a great mode because it's exciting and everything, but after playing a few times in the game, it just gets old and boring because it's the same thing for every character. And except for the few characters, that the finishing is different. And only the finishing is different, and only for a few characters. Like Frieza in the third form, there is a different finishing move. Vegeta has the final flash attack, but except a few characters, no character has an interesting Dragon Rush. In Infinite World, they took it off. Next thing I'm gonna compare in the gameplay is the Hyper mode in Budokai 3. Now, Hyper mode is just a mode you press L2 and suddenly your character is lighted up with a red coal aura, which causes your character to be stronger, and it of course allows you to go to Dragon Rush mode and to perform the ultimate. Now I think like the Dragon Rush, it's not necessary, and in Infinite World again that they made it more simple. To perform an ultimate, you just have to press the up button and circle together, and then you just perform an ultimate. You don't have to go to Hyper mode for it. There is an Hyper mode in Infinite World, which your character is going to a blue aura, and again she power ups. Now I think I covered everything in the gameplay, and this is the whole comparison. So let's sum it up now. So to sum up the graphics comparison, so the graphics are, again, they're exactly the same except of the energy and life bar, and they both get an 8. Now for the characters department, again in Infinite World there are more unique characters, 8.5 for Infinite and 8 for Budokai 3. Skill editing system is much easier in Infinite World, I think. In Budokai 3 it's too clumsy. Infinite World he gets a 9 and Budokai 3 gets a 7.5. Story mode. So in the story mode in Budokai 3 you fly around the world. Infinite World, you are Goku on a map, you have cutscenes, battles, and minigames. I don't know how to decide it really, because both of the story modes are pretty great, so I give both story modes 8.5. The other modes, and this could really be the reason why Budokai is a better game at the end, that Infinite doesn't have a tournament mode, and it really hurts the game. Budokai gets a score of 8.5 in the modes, Infinite gets a 6.5. Gameplay. So, I think the gameplay in Infinite World is just faster. It's more fun to play. Budokai 3 can sometimes be frustrating and slow, and the Dragon Rushes just last too long. So, here I give Infinite a 9 and Budokai 3 an 8. That's it. The comparison is over, and this is the time to decide which game is better. I think Budokai 3 was a bit better because the game has more depth. I finished Infinite World in a month. It's a really easy game to finish it. It doesn't last long, and Budokai lasts a lot of time, but at the end, Budokai 3 wins. I give Budokai 3 a score of 8.8 and Infinite World a score of 8.6. That's it. Budokai 3, you win.